I'm fine. I'm not fine. I don't like the way I feel, because what I feel right now is a level of disappointment that I hadn't felt this year. Arkansas has lost to Missouri 5 times in a row, a program that has no business beating Arkansas 5 times in a row, guys. No business, okay? Yeah, they can get them every once in a while, but to own Arkansas like this, it's just ridiculous. And they had them. They were up 2 scores in the fourth quarter, and then a total collapse by the defense. 27 points in the fourth quarter, 298 yards. First time I've been just really disappointed in them. We can talk about some of the officiating stuff. There was some stuff that was just ridiculous, stupid. Apparently you can't cross your arms anymore. You didn't know that, did you? You can't cross your arms. That would have been 3rd and 13. Drives over. If they get the stop on 3rd and 13, which, I mean, at that point they were still playing well on defense. That's the same series, by the way, that Grant Morgan got hurt on. So he's still out there on a series that should have just ended. Yeah, you can't cross your arms anymore. But we got to move past that, because none of that stuff matters. Like even the special teams gaffes, which, I mean, it wouldn't be an Arkansas game, right? You lose by 2 points. You missed 2 extra points, have 1 blocked. What is going on? What's going on? Disappointment. There's no other way to describe my feelings right now in the way the defense performed in the fourth quarter. 298 yards, 27 points. You go into the fourth quarter up 2 touchdowns. Feeling good about it, all the momentum, all the energy. Penalties, turnovers, special teams, injuries, 3rd downs, those 5 keys, no matter how cute people try to get with the 5 keys to victory and all that stuff, that's what it always comes down to. Arkansas had 11 penalties for 95 yards. They lost the penalty game. I mean, you cannot go on the road in this conference and have 11 penalties for 95 yards. And again, some of it was complete BS. I mean, the Joe Fouché, he makes a great play. And you hit him with a personal foul, unsportsmanlike conduct penalty for crossing his arms at his own sideline. He's not standing over anybody. That is the biggest bunch of crap I've ever seen. No, it's not. It is not even close to the biggest bunch of crap I've ever seen. That happened 2 weeks ago, I guess, with Jalen Catalon. And even with that helmet to helmet, like Nick Bolton's helmet to helmet was way worse than what Catalon's was. Way worse. Still, that's ticky-tacky BS. Give me a break. There's no malicious intent there. Just because their helmets click a little bit, it's got to be changed. It's ridiculous. Nick Bolton should have been in that game, and so should Jalen Catalon. It's terrible. Something's got to change with that. Everybody hates it. Everybody hates it. The players hate it. The coaches hate it. The fans hate it. The fans hate it more than anybody probably, but I can't imagine like wanting to play linebacker or safety in this era of college football. And apparently now you can't cross your arms. Can you wave? Can you do a finger? Can you go like this? Are you a bad sport, SEC officiating, if you do that? But all that aside, Arkansas lost this game themselves by turning into a Swiss cheese defense. They were Swiss cheese. 653 yards, 50 points, 27 in the fourth quarter. I think it was 292 yards, so not quite 298, sorry. Now, we got to talk about KJ Jefferson. I think obviously probably a little bit of nerves there early, but man, he really figured it out, didn't he? They finally got the ball to Treylon Burks. You can't really fault the offense at all for the way that they played. They played pretty well overall. Even had a little Matt Jones magic type play there at the end with the ball bouncing off the Missouri defender into Mike Wood's arms to go up by 1, which was the right call. You go for 2 there. KJ was 274 yards, 3 touchdowns, 1 touchdown rushing also. So solid game from KJ. Trey Smith, 26 carries, 173 yards, 172 yards, 3 touchdowns. Treylon Burks, 10 catches, 206 yards, 1 touchdown. By the way, the pass play the design, it's all different kinds of designs, but it all ends up with Trey Burks throwing the ball. Hopefully, he rarely does, but we've seen it last year, we've seen it this year. For whatever reason, it doesn't work. It doesn't work. It's like, running an end around with TJ Hammonds, who, by the way, kudos TJ, he had a good game too. But for whatever reason, that pass play just doesn't work. But I feel disappointed right now. You can't not feel disappointed when you give up 27 points and 292 yards going into the fourth quarter of a game that, you feel all the momentum on Arkansas' side. And, I mean, it wasn't even close. It wasn't even close to stopping them. I can't even remember how many yards Roundtree had, but anyway, Alabama next week. So Arkansas is going to end up with 3 wins this season, which is a hell of a lot better than they've done before. And you got to give them, like we're talking overall picture, you got to be proud as a Razorback fan. You got to be proud of the steps that they've taken forward. You can be disappointed along the way, which is the way you should feel after this one. There's no excuse for that defense to give up that many yards to a program like Missouri. And I don't mean to slight Missouri at all. Yeah, I mean, congratulations. They won. They deserve to win. That's a fourth quarter that you want to have if you're Arkansas. Eli Drinkwitz, probably SEC Coach of the Year, although I didn't want to say it before this, because I didn't. But the SEC Coach of the Year is probably Nick Saban. Even if, Sam Pittman had won this game, Drinkwitz, whatever. I mean, to do what they've done year after year after year, and to have all the stuff pop up that has affected other teams across the country, but Alabama just keeps on going. And it doesn't matter who moves in and out from their assistant coaches. There's one cog at that program that keeps them going. I mean, they've got tremendous support and all that stuff, but we've seen Alabama not be Alabama before under other coaches. Saban, to me, is as SEC Coach of the Year, but a strong nod. And I'm sure Drinkwitz will get, something from somebody, some organization. 6 of 14 on third downs. It's another key, obviously. They were 9 of 15. They had a better third down day, better penalties. Turnovers didn't matter, although Arkansas fumbled it twice, tried to give it away a couple of times. It's hard to blast Traylon Smith too much after the day he had with 172 yards, 3 touchdowns. And so, yeah, I mean, you look at it, they were missing a couple of key players. They persevered, they fought, they just forgot to finish. The defense primarily, I mean, the offense scored, 15 points in the fourth quarter. They went down and scored when they had to. And, when I'm sitting there watching, I'm just like, that's pretty early. There's a lot of time left on this clock with the way Missouri's moving the ball. A lot of time left. So, not much else to say, man. I mean, it's a tough way to lose one, giving up 27 points in the fourth quarter and losing on, a field goal where, they beat you on special teams clearly. Arkansas had the one real good special teams play, obviously, with the fake field goal. Jack Lindsey picked up the first down. I think Traylon punched it in right after that. So you got to give some credit to that, obviously. But overall, special teams this year has just been a real disappointment. Again, offense, defense, special teams. Defense kind of came down a little bit today. Hope Grant Morgan's okay. Hope John David White is okay. John David took a pretty good lick. I think it was probably more hitting the ground, if anything, because he didn't return. But I think it was probably hitting the ground more than anything than, just the hit he took from Bolton. And again, by rule, I guess, yeah, their helmets clicked, but I still didn't really think that was targeting. I certainly didn't think Jalen Catalon's that made him miss the first half. But Arkansas started off slow. I think that you can attribute that obviously to KJ, making his first start of the season, second of his career. It's kind of funny to think about, but last year in this game it was Jack Lindsey who started at quarterback. This walk and talk helps me blow. I mean, I don't like the way I feel right now in my gut. And that's the first time that's happened. In the past couple of years, there's just kind of been a bit of a numbness. I mean, I know I've come off as, ticked off on these walk and talks and stuff, but I have been, but it's more like it's been the overall state of the program in the past. I think the program is headed in the right direction under Pittman. I don't think there's any question about that, considering, you know, just the 3 games that they won this year, and it should have been 4 and maybe should have been 5, could have easily been 5, but just the 3 games that they've won this year, I mean, that's more than the last 3 years combined. And they're not going to beat Alabama, but they've got a good chance to go to a bowl game, maybe get a 4th win. I don't think there's any question that this program's in the right direction. And maybe we caught a little bit of a glimpse into the future with what KJ Jefferson can do. I think there's a lot of positives to take away from that. He's going to grow because of this game. Got some good film out there. I think he's a better quarterback than what we saw last year as a true freshman. So it could be an interesting battle if you don't get Felipe Franks back, which I think he's probably going to go pro. I was surprised that they were able to run the ball so well, because I did feel like the defensive line was getting a push. They just weren't getting to the quarterback enough. I thought Julius Coates played a great game. By the way, he didn't face mask anybody that I could tell. And I don't understand how you call that like a face mask penalty after the play. Like, I mean, it didn't matter, but it's just the inconsistencies with SEC officiating and some of the calls. I mean, I cannot, like, I would love for someone to explain why this, crossing your arms, looking at your team for like 1, maybe a 2 count, and then walking back. How is it? I don't understand that. I don't. SEC officiating, it's just, they suck at their job generally. I mean, but ultimately they're not the reason that Arkansas just lost this game. They lost the game because they had a total collapse on defense. There's no other way to put it. So just repeating myself at this point, it would be nice to see them bounce back, play well against Alabama. They're not going to beat Alabama, but they can bounce back, show some fight here at the end of the year. Hopefully they get a good bowl game, a good opponent. And Arkansas basketball is moving in the right direction. We got the basketball game. I guess it's probably going on now, so I got to get to that. But I want to thank everybody for watching the Walk and Talk. Disappointing end on the road against Missouri, a program that has no business holding any kind of winning streak over Arkansas. And again, I'm not like sliding you, Missouri. I'm just saying you're not LSU, you're not Alabama, you're not Texas A&M, okay? Neither is Arkansas. And to lose, you know, a lot of close ones like this one. So, all right, everybody, this is Trey Biddy at HawgSports.com. And in the Walk and Talk, Missouri 50, Arkansas 48 on a last-second field goal. We'll catch you next time.